All right. Oh, okay. Probably should fix the old mic. Hey guys, how are we doing today? Oh jeez, there we go. Wanted to apologize for the delay. I had posted a message talking about how I wanted to start this at. I had wanted to start this at 2. Had some things come up. Then I said 2:30. So now here we are at 2:49 my time. So I'm sorry about that, guys. But I am finally here. We are finally ready to get back into Echo, which I have been waiting to get back into. I am excited to get back into the world of Echo with oh my gosh, I can't speak. I'm excited to get back into the world of Echo with Carl. You know, we had good times with Leo. It's Carl's time to shine, and I am really excited to see what's gonna happen with him. Honestly, I'm very, very excited to see what the hell exactly is gonna happen to him. Oh, jeez. But hopefully you guys are doing well. I see that Hazit came by earlier. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to stay, which is fine. That's understandable. You know, people have things to do. So, I completely understand. Not to mention, time zones suck. Time zones are crap. They are awful. I hate time zones. I wish we all used the same time zone. It would be so much better, like, if we all used the same time zone. But anyway, all of that being said, I think I've talked enough. I'm going to get right into it. I did want to apologize, like I said, for not playing Echo lately. I've been doing a lot of stuff, mainly doing training for a new job. And honestly, besides that, you know, just in general, I've been trying to figure out some ideas for my next personal video. I have an idea in mind. I'm working on the... I'm sorry. I'm working currently on the idea. So we will see what the hell's gonna happen. But let me just upload some things real quick. Oh god. Oh, please. Sorry guys. I like I said, I'm usually not this bad, but I'm like today's like oh geez, like I'm just trying to get in like everything fixed. But in the meantime, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully you guys are doing well. And also, can you guys hear me? Today's like oh geez, like I'm just adding something. What was that I was looking for? Sorry, I wanted to share this link. Where are you at? Where did you go? Something. Fixed. But in the meantime, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully you guys are doing well. And yeah, this is a stream. This is a stream. Yeah, I usually stream Echo just because it's so much, and it's easier just to stream it than to try to like kind of not stream it. So I mean, it's just there's so much content in this game. It's just easier for me to stream it. That's why I usually stream it. Yeah, so Echo's almost always a stream for me. Alright, I should be done after this. Just want to upload. If I can find it. Video streaming. Okay. I'm ready, finally. I'm sorry, I promise you. I'm ready. I'm completely ready now. Everyone can hear me, right? I'm just... I can find it. Video streaming. Echo's almost always a stream for me. Okay, good. I'm all set. Let's get going. Oh, the long weekend for you. Nice. Nice. Alright, ready. Are you sure you don't want to come down? Carl lay spread out on his bed, game controller clutched in both of the paws that are thrown over his head against the pillow. He offers me a glance but returns back to his game. This time it's a new-looking, open-world fantasy, and honestly, I'd much rather be watching him play it than doing homework. I just don't want to distract you, man. And you know how much help I am. I frown. Well, it'd be more for the company than anything. Don't you want to look through the stuff, too? Carl screws up his muzzle as if contemplating. I've seen most of it, dude. I've wrapped up half the stuff in there. Well, alright. I pause, but he doesn't say anything. It's clear he's not interested, so I have no reason to nag him. Still, it sort of hurts my feelings. As I make my way into the basement alone, I realize another reason why I would have appreciated Carl's company. The house is as creepy as fuck. I've always been a bit of a pussy when it comes to scary things. I mean, once after I'd seen a scary movie about possession, I'd been afraid to go to sleep for weeks, mainly because my nightmares can seem so real. It took almost a month for me to manage it without the lights on, and I was 18 at the time. And now I mentally kick myself for remembering that movie while I'm down in Carl's creepy basement alone. Once I get to the crawl space, I do an awkward half run to the flood lamp that probably would have made Carl laugh his ass off. The crawl space really is fucking creepy. I imagine Carl sleepwalking down here, which I'm pretty sure is what happened last night, then waking up alone in the dark. I can understand why he was so freaked out. The sight of the plastic tarp at the bottom of the steps brings back memories of the tarantula as well. Shit. Now I have good reason not to go down there at all. I still don't know if what I saw was real or was some kind of hypnagogic hallucination that my mind always seems so keen to throw at me. I scan the tarp. It's a white and clean surface free of any insects as far as I can tell. I shudder again before making my way slowly down the steps, eyes still darting around. Come on, you idiot, this is ridiculous. When I was younger, I used to have a problem where I'd wake up in the middle of the night and see spiders crawling up my walls. I'd scream and one of my parents would come running in to tell me nothing was there. My dad talked to his psychologist friend who told me it was normal, so we didn't do anything about it. Over time, the hallucinations stopped. They didn't come back until I took the night shift near my university's campus. After that, I started to get sleep paralysis, and about half the time, spiders are involved. My feet crunched their way across the tarp back toward the tubes that I know are marked history. I stare at them for a second, remembering that 2 days ago, the tubs had... tubs. Why do I keep saying tubes? The tubs had been turned to have their sides facing the entrance to the crawl space. I clearly remember seeing them that way over Carl's shoulder right before I saw the tarantula. Now they're turned so that their ends are pointing to the front. I frown, but the prickling feeling on my neck doesn't feel good, especially with me being alone down here. So I shove that to the back of my mind and grab the end of the bottom tub so I can start dragging it back towards the stairs. Sitting down and taking the lids off, I start shifting through the contents. Again, something isn't right. There are a few empty wrappers lying around among the artifacts, as if someone had unwrapped a few trinkets before taking them. I wonder if Carl decided to take a few things. God knows why he would. I removed those wrappers, 3 in all, and set them to the side before digging further in. This particular tub has a divider in it. As I start unwrapping things, I realize that one side is for the harder artifacts like keys or knitting needles. The other has mostly paper items like photos and documents. On the paper side, I see a thick folder labeled Biography of James Hendricks. My eyes widen. Now that would come in handy. Is this a book or... As I open it, I find a bunch of loose papers inside. While it's clearly copy paper, it's old enough in its own right. I move back down to the tarp so I can start spreading the documents out, not wanting to lose anything. I'm breathing heavily at this point, hardly believing my luck. There are hundreds of pages and I hardly know where to start. After a while, I begin to deduce what this is. Someone's been trying to write a book on James Hendricks. From what I can tell, it was Carl's mother, Trisha. Some of the documents were typed out on a typewriter, so this might have been started as far back as the 80s. Getting married, having kids, and running a company probably slowed things down just a little bit. I grin. Well, it's too bad this might not never see publication. Carl's mom has no idea how much she saved my ass. On top of that, she's got it all organized. One divider indicates James Hendricks, while another marks Emma Hendricks, who I assume is James' wife. A few of them are filled with several names. Marilyn Smith, John Begay, Yana Begay, Christopher Leeway. Dude, by the way, can I just say how much I fucking love the last name, John Begay? And, like, can you imagine your last name was Begay? It took almost a month for me to manage it without the light. I mean, you know, be gay, do crime. You know, be gay, do crimes. Could this be Greg's ancestor? You know, just throwing that out there. You know, maybe not. You know, you never know. Could be not. That's when I was 18 at the time. And now I mentally kick myself for remembering that movie while Finally, the last section of the binder is filled with dividers indicating dates 1825, 1852, 1852 to 1875, 1875 to 1878, and 1878 to 1891. I start with that, my fingers shaking a bit with excitement as I start poring over Trisha's meticulous timeline, using my phone to take notes. Oh. Bye. James was born in 1825 to an immigrant family from Erie. His family faced oppressive prejudice from the day they arrived in the country. Despite this, they managed to make a living with James' father becoming a plumber, a profession that mainly dealt with lead. His father, Martin, was abusive, even more so than was acceptable for the time, and James suffered greatly for it. The mysterious death of his 5-year-old sister, Martha, led many of the townspeople to suspect murder on the father's part. But this was never proven. James left home at the age of 15. He told his remaining sibling, Jane, that if he were able, he'd find a place for both of them to stay to escape their father. Not much is known about James Hendricks between 1840 and 1849, with Trisha assuming that he simply job-hopped around the tri-state area. What is known is that James set out west in 1850 during the gold rush. Luck struck quick with James finding gold in a quartz deposit in 1852. The first person James confided in about the find was his only friend, John Begay. John was a native desert fox and would go on to become James's business partner. This comes as a bit of a surprise due to John's many recorded instances of prejudice against the natives. With John's help, James officially laid claim to the mine before turning it into a business. While Eka was originally a small camp of less than 20 people, it became a mini boomtown. Over 2,000 people arrived within the next 3 years. Things went well for James after that. He became rich, built a mansion in Echo, and lived off the mine's seemingly endless flow of gold. He sent Jane, who was married with a large family at that point, a yearly sum of money. Meanwhile, no money was sent to his parents, who were living in deep poverty. They married Emma, a girl half his age, in 1860. They had 5 children: James, Thomas... how the hell do I say this name? I'm down in Carl's creep. And, like, can you... James, Thomas, Genevieve, Carol, and Martha. Things changed for James in 1875, though, when he was accused of sodomy with John Begay. Ooh. The land being lawless at the time, John Begay was hanged by the locals. James was never convicted of the crime, likely because of his strong influence in the town. However, the ostracism grew to be too much, and in 1878 he left his family to live in solitude on the West Coast. He quietly started a moderately successful ice cream business in the 1880s. It didn't grow into the regional juggernaut it is today until it was taken over by his grandson, Peter. He died there in his villa in 1891 from an unusual insect bite. I rubbed my eyes and checked the time. 3 hours have passed already, and it's late in the afternoon. Apparently Carl's game is so good he hasn't even bothered to come down and check on me. I sigh and gather up a few of the items: a pocket watch, what looks like a nugget of gold, and what I think is a stamp with a crest on it. I'll need to take the pictures outside considering how dim it is down here. believe it's pronounced as Jenna Vivi? Genevieve. Ugh. I can't say the name. I'm trying. Genevieve. I'm not good with these old timey names. Can you imagine your last suspect murder on? You said Jane, who was married with a large family at that. I lay the items down on the adobe sidewalk that leads up to Carl's house. Deciding that will make a suitable background, I start taking pictures. Hours after the discovery of the binder, I'm still relieved. I was really starting to worry with how much time I had left, but Trisha's research has saved me hours of time. In fact, she'd pretty much laid everything out for me. I nearly jump out of my skin and spin around, still clutching my camera. Behind me, I can see the window still rattling from the force of whatever had knocked on it. It's a basement window and a window well, though I can't see anything through it. It's too dark. At that point, a year sidewalk that leads up to Carl's house. It's cool. I'm not sure. That's okay. I'm not good with names. Especially when you give me old time names, I can't do it. I try, and I'm just like, yeah, this is not working out. I can't do this. Please don't hate me. Oh, jeez. I can't. Deciding that will make a suitable background, I start taking pictures. I stare for a while, frowning. What the fuck was Carl doing? Did he go back downstairs and somehow see me through the window and decide to scare me? I slowly gathered the artifacts back up and placed them in my bag, keeping an eye on the window as I do. If he wanted to pull that shit, then I could play at that game too. The only problem is that Carl isn't in the basement. From what I can gather, it was the window next to the crawl space that was hit. Looking out, I can see the spot where I must have been standing. The chills return and I shiver as I move back to the crawl space. It had to have been Carl, though. I don't get why he wouldn't have stayed down here until I came back. Could it have been Carl? Could it have been somebody else? You know, just saying. Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe it was a ghost even, you know? These things happen. I like Carl though. In all seriousness, I like Carl. I think he's, I think it's a nice character. Hours after the discovery of the binder, I'm still relieved. Yeah, this place looks kind of dirty, but then again, I'm also reminded that this is a real place that they probably took pictures of. I gather everything back up and start to place them back into the tub in the same order I had taken them out. And that's when I notice something. At the very bottom of the tub, a plastic baggie has been opened with its contents spilled out. I set down the binder which I had been about to put away and reach in, shifting through the spilled papers. They're newspaper clippings from the town of Peyton. They're incredibly old, and I can't imagine this is the best way to preserve them. Either way, the fashion in which they're carelessly spread out across the bottom of the tub makes me wince. I don't remember leaving it this way, and it makes me feel sick that I could have damaged any of it. Slowly, I push all of the clippings back into the baggie, making sure to seal it tight after I do. From what I can see, nothing's been visibly damaged. I sigh before putting everything back in the tub and shutting it with the lid, making sure it's sealed tight. It's a shame that it's been so difficult for Carl's family to set up the museum. From the looks of it, some of this stuff isn't going to last much longer without proper preservation. Finally, I drag the tubs back and subconsciously taking note of exactly how I left them before heading back upstairs. When I get upstairs, though, Carl is asleep. His controller's still above his head, clutched in his paws as if he'd fallen asleep the moment I'd left. On the screen, his character is immobile, standing in the middle of some hut. A single NPC stands in front of him, walking back and forth. Every now and then it stops in front of him, exclaiming, "What are you doing in my hut?" I reach out and place a paw on his shoulder, and he immediately opens his eyes, snorting loudly. He sits up and rubs at his face, snorting again as he breathes deeply. "Did you go downstairs?" "Huh? What happened?" It's a almost funny how utterly confused he looks. As he's acting, he's doing a damn good job of it. I heard some noises downstairs. I thought it was you.
No, I don't think so.
Things were moved around, too. He takes in a deep breath before blowing it out.
I told you, man. This place is haunted. I wasn't joking.
We both look at each other for a moment. Finally, Carl breaks the awkward silence.
So how'd it go? Aside from the ghost.
It went alright. Just 3 hours and a bunch of research. He looks at me blearily.
Oh shit, seriously? I was gonna come down after a while, I just...
Fell asleep? Yeah. Anyway, we were supposed to go out today.
Really?
Yeah, remember you said so a few days ago? Carl looks around.
Well, what do you want to do?
I think. Don't you have an interview tomorrow?
Don't remind me.
Carl picks up his controller again and I frown. Well, I was thinking we could go out and maybe give you a new look. Now Carl frowns, clicking away at the controller.
Like what?
Well, your clothes for one. Do you have any dress clothes? You don't? Seriously? Have you ever had an interview before?
Well, yeah, it's just that I've grown out of them.
Well, we'll definitely need you to get some of those.
I was really gonna come down after a while, I just...
Fell asleep? Yeah. Anyway, we were supposed to go out today.
Really?
I look at his beard thoughtfully. Maybe we should give you a more clean-cut look. Carl doesn't say anything and instead goes on frowning. I put a paw down on his controller, forcing him to pause. Come on, it could be fun. You can't stay in this house, in this room forever. He finally does look at me then, his expression kind of sad. What's wrong? Carl looks away, then stands up slowly, his joints popping.
Nothing. If it makes you happy, then why not?
Great.
Just so you know, I'd rather just play some video games with you.
It's tempting. Just watching Carl play is a lot of fun with his style and commentary, but this is more important. Maybe that's Carl. Maybe that should be Carl's job. Maybe it should be maybe he should be a Twitch streamer. You know, Twitch stream. He could be a Twitch streamer. You know, show a little bit of his show a little bit of his belly. Maybe get some donations. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. His expression kind of sad. What's wrong? Carl looks away, then stands. That would be funny. I really want to help him out. Maybe later tonight. Let's get this done first. Oh, I feel bad. I feel sad. Carl has fucking bad anxiety. What's wrong? Well, we'll definitely need you to get some of those. I was really
I come down after a while, I just...
Fell asleep? Yeah. Sorry, my thing's audio. Next sub goal is a shirtless stream. Hey, look, listen. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that. You know what I mean? This is a family-friendly stream, you know? Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. So apparently your great grandfather was accused of sodomy?
What?
Carl looks up from his phone, his muzzle wrinkling. Yep, with John Begay. Well, I'm almost positive it's related to Jenna, but I'll have to ask her.
Are you serious? How did you find that out?
He pauses.
And maybe don't ask Jenna about that.
Yeah, I don't... This is a family friend. So apparently your From what I can tell, your mom's trying to write a book. Carl strokes his beard.
Oh yeah, she is, isn't she? Well, was more like. I don't think she's worked on it in years.
From the looks of it, she started in college.
Damn, well, I do remember her saying it stressed her out a lot, or that something happened to make her stop.
Carl seems to be thinking.
Actually, I think I remember talking to my dad about how those old things freaked her out or something.
He shrugs.
But we've always said the house is haunted.
Carl's phone starts buzzing.
And speaking of Jenna, she's calling me.
Carl looks a bit perturbed, but he puts on a cheerful voice as he answers it.
Yo, whale ears!
Ah, that old name. As he listens to her response, I see a smile slowly slide off his face. I can hear the sharp, muffled tones of Jenna's voice, even though he's holding the phone to the other side of his face. I guess she cuts him off because he doesn't finish. I glare. Here, let me talk to her. The way Jenna acted yesterday, which isn't like her at all, is giving me a pretty good idea of what she's going off about right now. Carl doesn't give me the phone, though, instead just staring out the windshield as we continue on the highway. Finally, he lowers, it should be he lowers, but, oh, I found an error. I wish my good friend Unagi was here, because he loves to get on people for having issues in their, he loves getting on people for having grammatical errors. You see, I can't even speak today. What the fuck? Can't even speak today. It should be he lowers, but, oh, I found an error. Finally, he lowers the phone from his ear, then stares at the screen for a while. She hang up?
Yeah, said something about how Leo's depressed now and how us hanging out by ourselves isn't helping things.
I wish Unagi was here, because he loves to get on people for having grammatical errors. You see, I can't even speak today. What the fuck? I roll my eyes. You know what? Fuck Jenna. She's been on one since Leo's day didn't go the way he wanted it to. Don't say that. Well, he said fuck Jenna. I'm fine with saying fuck Jenna. I don't like Jenna. I do not like Jenna. I was like, just don't say fuck Leo. Leo deserves happiness. Leo is a great guy who deserves happiness. I like Leo a lot, and I still do. My friends tried to tell me I shouldn't, but I still like him. For having grammatical errors. You see, I can't even speak today. What the fuck? I still like him. For some reason, she just wants to blame you.
Yeah.
Carl looks out his window, so I can't really gauge the mood he's in. Listen, let's get something to eat first. I'll buy.
No, my parents are rich. I'll pay.
I can't exactly argue with that, so I don't. I also don't feel like I can leave it at that, so hesitantly I reach out with a paw and place it on Carl's shoulder. Seriously, let's have fun today, okay? Forget Jenna. He looks over at me and gives me a sad smile.
I'm fine, Chase. I just want to get this over with so we can go back and play some games.
I sigh. Is that all you think about these days?
Hey, lots of people play games for a living.
Name one.
Rob Lowe.
That's a sport.
Still a game.
I grin as I hear that jokey playfulness back in his voice. Glad I'm able to take his mind off of Jenna for the moment. Well, at least that keeps them active. Playing games all day will get you unhealthy.
Fat? If you didn't notice, I'm already there.
You're not that bad. I swear you're mostly muscle.
Then I guess I've got nothing to worry about.
But you should get out more.
Why? I've got entire worlds in my game.
I don't know. What about girls?
They're in games too.
Oh no, Carl! Carl, don't do it! Oh no, Carl, you can't. No, don't do it. Don't become a weeb. Fuck. What the fuck? That's a sport.
Still a game.
I grin as I hear that jokey play. God, Carl's gonna turn into one of those. Carl's gonna turn into one of those weebs. Well, you can't exactly touch a boob with your actual paws in a game.
I don't know. I swear they've got those in anime land.
You know what I mean.
Already done it. Not that great.
You a queer or something? I say it with a southern accent. Oh, geez, hold on. I gotta say it with southern. You a queer or something? I say it with a southern accent.
Let's just say I don't label my sexuality.
I let that sit for a second. That's a pretty queer thing to say.
Guess I'm a pretty queer dude then.
Is that so?
Besides, until I'm able to see my hooves again, I don't think any girls are going to be after me.
Oh, that's what we're doing right now, trying to give you a new look, a fresh start. It'll boost your confidence and your appeal. You'll have girls and boys after you. Again, Carl doesn't act very enticed about that. Enthused about that, sorry. I tell myself it's only because he has to go out. Once we get there, I'm sure he'll cheer up. Is this a hot topic? This is a hot topic, isn't it? This is a hot topic. I know because I've been to these places. This is a hot topic. Howley, I know your secret. You stole Hot Topic's look. Fullness back in his voice. Say it with a southern accent. Howley, you stole Hot Topic's look. We gotta shun him. I gotta shun Holly now. Confidence and your appeal. You'll have girls and boys after you. Again, Carl doesn't act very enticed about that. I swear, every store in the Peyton Mall is dark and covered in neon. Carl stands there awkwardly, looking around as if unsure about what to do. So what kind of look do you want to go for? Yeah, this is a hot topic. This has to. There's no way. I go to Hot Topic every once in a while. I actually got a B-Star shirt from them, which is a fantastic shirt, by the way. Usually I do most of my shopping online now, though, even for Hot Topic. I shop on Hot Topic here and there. This is totally Hot Topic. And how he stole their look. Carl looks at me like I'm crazy.
Seriously, dude, I have no idea you brought me here.
Just work with this for the next hour, and I promise we can go to the game store next. Carl makes a big show of sighing, but I assume the twitch in his ears indicates he'd like that a lot.
Well, it's just dress clothes, so it shouldn't be that big a deal.
Carl's getting all insecure the way he did during the surprise, the birthday party. It's kind of cute. Carl, Chase? The voice comes from behind me and Carl smiles over my shoulder before I turn around. Raven? Oh! Ah! Ah! Oh, he's handsome! Oh! I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I like him. Oh, who's this? Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Just work with this for the next hour, and I promise we can go to the game store. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I like him. This is Raven. I don't think we met this guy before. Oh, geez, that was next. Kind of cute. Oh, jeez. Ah! Comes from behind me and Carl smiles over my shoulder before I turn around. Raven? Oh! Oh, the black. Oh, he's a husky too! Oh, he's a husky! Oh! Oh, stop! No! Oh no! He's my. Oh! Ooh! Oh, I love huskies. Fucking husky dogs are so cute. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, you can't do this to me. Oh, you can't do this to me. Oh, it's so cute though. I love huskies, Alaskan Malamutes, Labrador Retrievers are fucking cute. Shiba Inus are so. Oh my gosh. Oh. The black and white two-tone husky is just a few feet behind me, grinning. How long has it been?
Too long, man. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I know. He's got emo. Well, he's got an emo look in general. Look at how he's dressed. I mean, if he had the shirt on, no, but he's got like that little opened sleeveless vest on top of it. Hey, look. I'm not gonna say anything. My friend Chuck does not. You know, my friend Chuck does not fucking like hair on furries. And I'm like, why? I'm like, it's nice. I like hair on furries. I don't think it's a big deal. I like hair on furries. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. But I'm not gonna get any of this done today if I keep stopping.
Too long, man. What are you doing here?
Family moved back after Dad got fired. Now I work here. I gotta ask the same about you, Chase. Oh, just on spring break right now. You work at a clothing store now? Raven laughs. No, I'm a store down. I work at Game... No, I'm in a store down. I work at Game Central. Carl perks up at that. So you're still in school, huh? Well, it's great to see you. Raven's accent is only slightly decatable now. The only noticeably foreign thing about him being his name. So what are you guys doing here? Getting clothes? Yeah, for Carl, actually. He has an interview tomorrow. For some reason, Carl ducks his head at that, and through his ears, I can see him blush deeply. Oh, really? It's about time.
I mean, I have had a job before.
So what kind of look are you going for? When Carl doesn't answer, I speak up. That's what we were trying to figure out just now, actually. Oh, he is so handsome. Oh! Oh, those are his arms! Wait, no, it's not. Does he have something on his arms? I can't tell if... I'm assuming the black is his fur. Well, you know what? Regardless, he's handsome, and I like him a lot. You know I have a thing for dog boys. Yeah, for Carl, actually. He has an interview tomorrow. For some reason, Carl ducks his head. Carl shrinks further into himself, his hat seeming to fall further over his eyes.
Dude, it's just dress clothes, really.
Well, I think you should get a red tie at least. Might go good with your eyes. And maybe trim that beard.
Since when are you a fashionista?
Come on, Carl. Let's at least try it out. Carl sighs, rubbing his forehead.
Okay, fine. But only as long as we're out of here in the next hour.
Hey, I gotta get back to work, but I'll be free in about an hour. Let's catch up. I wave at Raven, then turn to Carl. Well, that was nice. Didn't think I'd ever see him again.
Me neither. Actually, I'll have to hang out with him more. I mean, I like Flynn, but having to put up with him just to get a ride to the store isn't always worth it.
Well, anyway, if you're wanting to get out of here in an hour, then we should probably get started. The process is a lot less painful than Carl makes it out to be. Soon enough, we're on our way to the food court, Carl carrying a bag way too big for the contents inside. We meet Raven again, and once we get our food, he suggests we eat outside. I look for my full combo meal to Carl's small, tiny container of tater tots. You not hungry? Carl just shrugs and grins at me.
You just don't know the ways of the fatty.
Huh?
We're judged all the time, especially when we're eating.
He delicately bites a tater tot in half before adopting a sarcastic tone.
Ew, gross. Of course he's eating.
That seems kind of unfair.
See? Raven thinks so too.
The husky is in the middle of a huge bite of his Subway sandwich, his eyes on Carl. He swallows before speaking. I can see that you're self-deprecating as ever.
You know me.
So Chase, are you still dating that wolf? Leon? It's Leo, you bitch! How dare you? How dare you mess up his name? It is Leo! At that and through his ears, he is wonderful. For some reason, Carl ducks his head. Carl shrinks further into himself, his hat seeming to fall. Leo and no. I ignore the sidelong glance I get from Carl. Sorry about that. You two are really cute together. They were. It's hard to know what to say when people comment on your relationship. If someone isn't homophobic, gay relationships are usually cute or adorable. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I say that about relationships in general. I don't just say that about my friends that are like gay. So like, oh, like you guys are so cute. Like it makes it sound like it's like a puppy. It's like, oh, you guys are so cute. It's like, oh, just look at the adorable couple. I don't say that. Or maybe it was just a size difference. It probably was the size difference. No, that's fucking cute. I like size difference. That's cute. Little small otter boy and big strong wolf man. But seriously, I've always wanted to date an otter. Oh, really? Yeah, they're adorable. Swimming clowns. Do tell. Raven picks up on my sarcastic tone right away, but it doesn't seem to faze him. Well, yeah, you know what they say about otters and blowjobs. Carl almost chokes on his last tater tot.
The hell, Raven? You barely know him and you're saying that shit.
Carl's laughing, though. I'm sure to keep my face passive. Oh, what do they say about otters and blowjobs? Raven laughs. You know, you never have to come up for air. 10 minutes non-stop. Yeah, I don't usually say, like, they're cute or adorable, unless they're actually, like, generally cute or adorable. Unless they're generally cute or adorable, I usually pretty much just, just say that's nice. Or, oh, I'm happy for you. Or, oh, you two are great together. Raven giggles and makes a visible effort to keep a straight face. Sorry, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. It's just one of those jokes I always hear. You can imagine I do too, and it's 8 minutes, by the way. Psh, I'd take that too. Carl crumbles up the straw wrapper and flicks it off Raven's bluish-looking nose, to which he simply smiles. Carl stands up.
Hey, I'm going to the bathroom, Raven. Don't be a dick.
I'm not. We both watch Carl amble off before Raven turns back to me, the dopey smile back on his face. So, how long are you going to be here, Chase? We need to catch up. I wonder what catching up means when our biggest interaction up until this point was dissecting a shark in high school biology. Sunday, school starts up again on Monday. Despite having a head start on the project thanks to Carl's mom, I still get a nervous twinge in my stomach. I still have a lot left to do. Voiceovers, B-rolls, and, oh god, editing. We should hang out. His adorable excitement is barely contained, and I'm pretty sure I can hear the thumping of his tail against the curb we're sitting on. Despite my earlier offense at his stereotyping of otters, I'm reminded at how much worse dogs get it. They're not common in Echo, or this side of the world for that matter. While otters are thought of as entertainers, I feel like it's better than dealing with being seen as a simpleton. So the main reason I'm here is to do a news segment on Echo for class. Oh, is it gonna be on TV? I laugh. No, I mean, maybe I could get into rotation on the college TV station, but otherwise, no. Well, that's still pretty cool. But my point is that's kind of boring. What, is it just a bunch of writing, or? Mostly going through old stuff. Carl's family saved a bunch of artifacts from the old days. Whoa, so you're actually touching the old stuff. Yeah. It's kind of a weird way to put it, but yeah. That sounds awesome. His outgoing nature is kind of infectious. I smile. Well, if you're really interested, I wouldn't mind having some help. That's great. I have the next 2 days off. Cool. We'll ask Carl when he gets back. It takes a while for the ram to return, but when he does, he seems a bit reluctant to agree to the idea, which kind of surprises me. But eventually we convince him, and we make plans for Raven to come over the next day. As we're heading back out to the car, I nudge Carl, forcing him into a slight stumble. What's up?
What do you mean?
I try to keep my tone light. You seem a bit down. Actually, you have all day. Carl shrugs. I nudge him again and he giggles.
I don't know. It's just awkward coming out here and having you two just examine me like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, dude, it just feels kind of weird is all.
I stay silent for a moment, wondering if I made the right decision in doing all this. Well, I'm just trying to help you out, you know?
I know, bro. It's cool.
Seriously, I've been thinking.
Your main problem is worrying about going out in public like a social anxiety.
Whoa, now you're sounding
like Jenna.
Wait, was that me? Oh, I think there was Carl. I'm assuming that was Carl. We get to my car and he smiles at me over the roof while I unlock the doors. I feel like if we can break through that, it'll help you out a bunch. I break eye contact as we both slide into our respective seats. And I think this job will be a huge part of that, so I really want you to get it. As I lean to the side to pull out my seatbelt, I feel something soft and warm pressed to my cheek. It only lasts for a second, then it's gone. I look over at Carl, but he's looking out the window. Did you just kiss me?
Yeah, bro.
Are you high?
No, I mean, maybe.
He giggles. So yes. Slowly I pull out of the parking space. Oh, Carl fucking kissed him. That's so cute. I don't know how I feel about... I like Carl. Carl's nice. Oh. Oh. If he hadn't made a move on me last night, I might have been a little more shocked. But how did you get high anyway?
Alley behind the mall.
Charming.
Yeah, pretty sure I've got a few needles stuck in my hooves.
We drive in silence for a while, Carl looking out at the desert scenery while I squint out the windshield, trying to see through the hazy orange sunset.
I didn't mean that, by the way.
What?
Just thanks.
Sure. I don't know what else to say, so I leave it at that, and we drive along in pleasant silence. Carl still seems a little sad, and I can't pinpoint why. I'm hoping that it's just a phase. That by the time this interview is over, he'll be able to get past his anxiety and finally be done feeling like a failure at everything. I wake up to the feeling of a familiar, numbing heaviness in my body. I try to move, tugging at what feels like a massive weight on my arms and legs, but all I can manage is to wiggle my fingers. It feels like someone's pressing down on my chest, trying to suffocate me. That something's in the room with me. I can't help myself. I open my eyes. A blood-red glow fills Carl's room as if from a nightlight covered in blood. The sight would have made me whimper if I was able to make any kind of sound. My eyes flick around the room. It looks strangely empty, a lot more empty than I remember it, as if Carl's in the middle of a move and he'd packed up all of his toys and decorations. In fact, the only thing I recognize in his room is his bed, the blankets tossed back and empty. I'm alone. Hey, I remember that chuckle! Wasn't that chuckle in Arches? Did they use the same sound effect? I hear a chuckle right next to my ear and it's straight out of a horror movie. Whatever it is, it's right out of my line of sight and I can't turn my head to see what it is. My heartbeat picks up and I decide to close my eyes, knowing that nothing good will come out of opening them. It breathes heavily in my ear for a while, then stops. The weight lifts off of my body and I feel its presence leave. I sit up, open my eyes again, and sigh with relief. But then I realize the room is still empty and so is Carl's bed. Die. Something yanks me out of bed and suddenly I'm being pulled by both feet down the hallway. Oh shit, oh shit, oh no, oh god, oh no. Down the stairs, down the basement, toward the crawl space, into darkness. Furry legs crawl over my body and pinpricks pierce every inch of my flesh. I'd give anything to be able to scream right now. I gasp and jolt of the paralysis. I wait a good 10 seconds before I'm convinced that I'm really out of it. Carl's snoring loudly in his bed, one arm dangling over the side while his belly rises and falls. I sit up and rub my face, wondering how the hell I'm going to get back to sleep after that. That is fucking scary. Friday. Hey, is this useful? I look over at Raven as he holds up what looks like a porcelain canine doll of some kind. Maybe. Again, just set aside the stuff you think might be interesting enough for me to take pictures of. Okay. He puts it to the side and starts digging through the tub, rather carelessly again. I sigh and turn back to the binder. I really wish Carl had agreed to come down. Again, he declined to help me, even after Raven arrived. But now I guess I have my answers as to why. More stuff is missing from the tubs, and I know it can't be anyone else except Carl. The containers were turned the opposite way when I got down to the crawl space earlier this morning. Yeah, that really is scary. Like, I would lose my shit. I do not know if I could stay over that house. If I had a dream where, like, I legitimately was being fucking dragged, if I was being legitimately dragged, I'd be like, oh no, I can't do this. All further over his eyes. Oh, he swallowed before speaking. I could not do it. On top of that, there were 2 more loose wrappers in the tub, along with... I traced a paw up the torn edges of a missing page in the John B. Gay section. The question, of course, is why would he be doing this? There's absolutely no reason for it. And the bizarreness of the situation makes it pretty much impossible for me to confront him on it. It's his house, after all, though if he didn't want me going through it, why would he have shown it to me in the first place? And he isn't even trying to cover his tracks. In fact, I practically caught him in the act just a few nights ago. He must know now that I'd be able to put that together pretty quick. I closed the binder, deciding that this will be the last time I'll be going through this stuff. If Carl doesn't want me digging up info on his family's history, then I'm not going to pry any further. Hey, look at this! Raven holds up a wooden train. Bet this was probably the shit back in the day. I sigh. Probably. My phone buzzes. I take it out. My notification is telling me I have a text message from Leo. Ooh, it's Leo again! Meet me at diner for lunch, just you. For a moment, I feel a pang of guilt. He told me how excited he was to hang out with me this week, and I've spent almost all of my time here with Carl. Though, from what I've gathered in text, Leo's been spending most of his time with TG and Jenna since the Lynx is apparently still filling down. At least he had that to keep him occupied. My excuse that Carl has all the info I need for my project made my decision to spend most of my time here a little less weird. Hey, Rafe, I'm gonna go out to meet with some friends. Could you keep Carl company? Okay, sure. Raven seems busy pushing the train across the ground while attaching more cars. And make sure you keep that together. I want to get a picture of it later. Ooh. Ooh, now need to talk in privito. I sigh and put my phone away, patting my pocket for my keys as I head up the crawlspace steps. Leo waves at me as I walk into the diner. I'm surprised to see that the diner is completely empty. There's almost always someone in here. Something else is amiss too, and I didn't notice it until I sat down across from the wolf. It's eerily quiet. The usual rockabilly tracks aren't playing from the jukebox. Hey. Hey man, what's up? The atmosphere is unreasonably awkward, and I blame most of that on the strange state of the diner.
So apparently we have to go up to the counter to order. Janice isn't here.
I think it's different depending on what route you do. Like, basically, as far as I know, Chase and Leo broke up before he went to college. But it was from what I got, it seemed like it was kind of one-sided. Like Chase just started ghosting Leo. Like, they were done. But Chase kind of just abandoned Leo. He didn't have, like, which I don't like. Like, he didn't just have, I don't think he, like, said, like, hey, listen, we're done. I'm not sure, because I know you get different info based on the routes. But from what I've seen, pretty much Chase started ghosting Leo, and they're broken up. I mean, I guess eventually Leo got the message that they're broken up. In Leo's route, they were basically trying to get back together. But this route, I guess because of Leo's route, we spent most of the time with Leo and they kind of were trying to get back together. And in this route, Chase has been spending all his time with Carl. So we really haven't been trying to, like, mend anything between Chase and Leo. Oh, why is that? Leo shrugs as he sips on a milkshake.
Don't know. Sick, I guess.
It's then that I remember the story Flynn had told us about Janice and her incident. Though I'm not going to bring that up because I'm sure that's what Leo's thinking as well. I'm not really hungry anyway. What was it you wanted to talk about? Leo swallows slowly, then looks down at the table.
So you probably know this whole thing didn't go as I planned.
I look at the collection of condensation on his glass before I speak up. I don't know what it is with the Echo Project team. There's always issues with relationships. Like, so Echo, at least from what I've seen, well, except for Adastra. Adastra, though, is kind of a little different than the other Echo stuff. But, like, Echo, you have Chase and Leo having huge issues. And then in Arches, you have Cameron and Devin. Like, yeah, they're dating and they're together. But, like, you can tell there's a lot of fucking issues. And that's why, like, I'm almost certain that by the end of that VN, they're both going to break up unwillingly, though. And I'll leave it at that. Again, I'm not a writer, so I don't know, but that's my guess for Arches. Which I guess I will be playing Arches whenever there's a public update. I'm waiting for the next public update. Yeah, sort of. Leo frowns as if he'd hoped I would have tried to deny it.
Well, it's mostly my fault. I should have done a better job at resolving shit.
Now I frown. Hey. I wait until he takes his eyes off the table to look at me. You know, you're not our big brother anymore. He looks back down at the table. We're adults, believe it or not. We make our own decisions now. Everything we're doing right now is our decision. Our fault, not yours. Leo's eyes get shiny, but he smiles.
Yeah, you're right. Guess I just want to go back is all.
Oh, God, Leo, do I understand that? I would kill to go. You know, I remember when I was in high school and I hated it, and middle school was meh, and I would give anything just to go back to my freshman year of high school. Times were far simpler then. Hey, we're still young. You're talking like you're my grandpa. No, Adastra is finished. Arches is still being worked on. Arches is like a spin-off sequel to this. No, Adastra's been done. Yeah, Adastra's been done since, what, like last year? No, Adastra's done. Adastra's done. Interia is the one that's being worked on. That's the, like, mid-equal. And then Arches is, like, the spin-off sequel. Leo laughs and leans back.
Mine too.
Leo jerks his head as if he just remembered something.
So what the hell happened between Jenna and Carl?
I was actually hoping you could have told me that. I have no idea.
She keeps going on about him not participating. I told her it was fine, but she can't seem to let it go.
Yeah, well, it's really weighing on Carl, I think. Leo swigs his milkshake, foregoing at the straw. He wipes away the cream from his muzzle as he brings it back down onto the table with some resolve.
Well, I'm not letting it end like this.
Let what end like this?
Our group. You realize this might be the last time we're all together.
The sentence immediately forms a lump in my throat. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna let it end like this. Flynn pissed at TJ, Jenna pissed at Carl, you and me.
He let that hang, and when I don't say anything, he coughs.
So I planned something.
What? His hesitant tone is making me nervous. He looks me in the eye and squares his shoulders.
We're going to the lake tomorrow.
He lets that sink in as I turn his words over in my head. I had suspected that this is what he was getting at. I considered my words for a moment, not wanting to say the wrong thing. I don't know if that's... Leo puts up a paw.
I've thought this over real hard, Chase. That day, what happened to Sydney, it fucked us all up, changed us all. Not for the better, either. He took something from us.
Leo pauses, looking to the side as if searching for words.
Flynn, Sydney was his best friend. And Carl, he's been depressed ever since.
I feel the need to speak up. I don't know if you could pin all of that on what happened. Maybe it would have turned out the same. He presses on.
TJ, he saw Sydney die, saw him drown. Can you imagine that at 8 years old? And Jenna, has she ever been happy since?
I shake my head. I always felt like that experience helped her, in a weird way. She decided to go to school, leave Echo. He doesn't seem to be listening to me.
And you? I love you, but you did change the day it happened. You're particularly a different person.
I don't have anything to say to that.
And me?
His voice catches in his throat and I close my eyes. Leo.
I was supposed to be watching all of you. I was supposed to take care of...
Leo stops talking and I keep my eyes on the table. I grabs one of the brown napkins and wipes his eyes. When he speaks again, his voice is thick and cracks with emotion.
His parents never said, but they trusted me with Sydney and I think they blamed me.
No, Leo. He falls silent. For a while, we both sit there and share the feeling of being weighed down by 11 years of baggage. A good 5 minutes goes by, Leo staring out the window. The afternoon sun turns his normally red fur almost orange.
We can't do this anymore. This might be our last chance to find some kind of closure.
I take a deep breath, swallowing past the lump. Okay. He looks up at me, relief all over his face.
So you'll go?
I smile reassuringly at him. Of course. Have you told anyone else? He lowers his ears.
No.
Oh God, are you gonna tell them?
I don't know.
Leo. He does his signature shrug, paws out.
I really don't know how else to get them to go.
Then there's no way this isn't gonna be a disaster.
Hey, we gotta try.
I guess.
So can you bring Carl with you?
I think for a moment. Oh shit, Carl has an interview.
What time?
10, I think.
Well, we'll plan around it. Text me the actual time, okay? Anyway, I invited you out here to talk about more than shitty stuff. What have you been up to the past 3 years?
And so we talk for the next 2 hours, catching up on everything. It feels good and I regret not spending more time with Leo this past week. As we part in the small parking lot, Leo surprises me with a hug.
I have a good feeling about this. It'll be hard, but we'll be better for it.
I hug back, hoping with all my heart that he's right. Ooh, Friday was short. Saturday. Opposite way when I got down all space earlier this morning. Me. No, Leo. He falls silent. For a while, we both sit there and share the feeling of being weighed down by 11 years of baggage. A good 5 minutes. When he speaks again, his voice is thick and cracks with emotion.
His parents never said, but they trusted me with Sydney and I... Dudes, I don't know about this.
I peek into the bathroom, watching as Carl stares at himself in the mirror, running his fingers through his hair. You look great. Raven stands back, grinning with a trimmer in his paws, looking Carl up and down. Tell him, Chase. Carl looks at me, and I have to agree that he looks quite a bit better. You look fantastic, a lot cleaner.
Thanks.
Now take a shower. Before Carl can say anything, Raven shoves the mall bag into Carl's chest before slamming the door in his face. Man, this is gonna be great. If the interview was based on looks alone, he'd get to have that job locked. Yeah, probably. And so with that, we move to the living room and wait. Half an hour later, Carl shuffles in quietly. We don't even know he's there until he clears his throat. Aw, I gotta save this. He looks nice. Carl looks nice. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I fucking hate wearing polo shirts. And I have to wear it for the new job I have. And I fucking hate it, but at least I don't have to wear a tie. I am not a fan. You know me. But then again, you know me. Now, if you give me a nice pretty dress to wear, or a nice pretty top, I'm all over it. But not for this. But I am not into, like, polos or dress shirts. I hate them.
So, how does it look?
He looks good, but I'm more concerned with the fact that he looks more insecure than I've ever seen him. He shifts from hoof to hoof, not making eye contact at all, his fingers pulling at the rolled-up sleeves. Oh my god, that looks fantastic! There's no way you won't get that job now! Raven sounds genuine enough, but then again, he's always excited. Carl looks over at me and I give a start, realizing how bad my silence must have seemed. You do look great, Carl. But, Raven chuckles and Carl's eyes widen.
What?
The beanie. Do you always wear that thing? Carl lifts a paw to it.
Usually?
You can't wear that. How do you even get it on?
It's stretchy and my head fur looks awful.
Seriously, you can't wear a beanie to an interview. Carl's getting all fidgety again, so I butt in. Oh no! I don't know! I don't think he should wear it either, but I also don't want him to get nervous. I'm gonna save. Do they show it? Oh, I don't know. Realistically, no, you shouldn't wear a hat to a fucking interview. Unless you're well, no, any job, you should not wear a hat to an interview. But I also know that Carl's very insecure, and he's undecided. And he's, I don't know. I don't know what to say to him. Jeez. I don't know. What do you guys think? Or what do you people think? I'm very undecided right now. No hat. Alright, let's see what happens. Carl, that's a really bad idea for a job interview.
Oh, come on!
He looks sad and angry at the same time, which gives me pause.
I'll wear it if I want. This is my interview.
After a couple of seconds of silence, Raven coughs. Raven looks at me, then back to Carl. Well, alright. Oh, wait, does he wear it no matter what? Oh, he wears... Oh, we just made him mad for no reason. Alright, if he's gonna still wear it, then I'm gonna tell him to wear it. I thought if we told him not to wear it, like, he would take it off. But he wears it anyways. Like, I'm wearing it anyway. Alright. So, I'm telling him to wear it then. Hey, I actually think it looks kind of... Hey, I actually think it looks kind of nice with everything else you got on. Carl glances at me, but stops fidgeting with the beanie. Raven looks at me, then back to Carl. Well, alright. Carl sighs and shifts around again. We watch him expectantly.
Dude, this just feels weird is all.
It's new. It's new. You'll get used to it. I pull out my phone to look at the time. Alright, we really need to head out. We should get there early. As we head to the door, Raven makes as if to follow us. I kick myself for forgetting to talk to him earlier. I turn around to face him as Carl heads out the door. Hey, Raven? He stops. What's up? So, after the interview, me and Carl and our other friends, we're gonna be doing something. Raven raises his brows. Oh? Oh, it's not that we don't want you to come. Though I really wouldn't mind having his upbeat attitude present will surely be the biggest downer of the week. It's just that it's really personal. Oh, really? Yeah, seriously, you wouldn't want to come. We're gonna be talking about some heavy shit. Raven seems to perk up a little at that. Oh, well, I wouldn't want to intrude. I'll just hang out here then. Yeah, we'll be back soon, okay? Sounds good, but you have to tell me how the interview goes. I know he's gonna do amazing. I will, and he will. See you in a few. Carl looks confused as I come out to the car alone.
Where's Raven?
I sit down and make a show of buckling my seatbelt. So I wanted to tell you this. I wanted to tell you this after the interview so you don't have more to stress out over.
Oh. What?
I pause as I back out, pretending to be distracted so I can gather my thoughts. So, Leo wants us to meet up at the lake.
The lake? The lake?
Yeah.
Why?
Closure, he says. Carl stays quiet as we drive through Echo, and I swerve to avoid all of the potholes. As I'm merging onto the highway, he finally speaks up.
I think that's a good idea. Like, we've been sitting on this for how long? We should do it while we got the chance.
I nod my agreement. I just hope everyone else feels the same. We fall back into silence, and it stays that way for the remaining 20-minute drive. Carl gets more nervous the closer we get. I can see his knees bouncing out of the corner of my eyes as he stares out the window. I reach out and put a paw on his shoulder as we pull into the parking lot of the print shop. You look awesome. You're going to do amazing. Carl starts taking deep breaths, staring out the windshield. Just be yourself. Everyone loves a relaxed employee.
I wish you'd let me have a smoke before we left.
Yeah, go into an interview smelling like pot. Great idea. Carl giggles nervously, but otherwise doesn't move. Do you want me to go in with you? Carl shakes his head quickly, unbuckling his seatbelt as he opens the car door.
No, man. I'll be fine.
Okay, cool. I'll be waiting. I grin at him, but he just shuts the door and ambles up to the print shop. He pushes on the doors, and when they don't move, he pushes harder, shaking the glass. I start to open my door to tell him to pull instead, but he seems to figure it out before I have to and disappears inside. Oh, Carl. Then I sit back and wait. I try to take a nap since I've been up all night with Raven and Carl gaming, but the heat beating down through the windows becomes too uncomfortable. I turn the AC back on to shuffle through the stations, but I only find twangy country and mariachi. I look at the time. 10:10 a.m. If the interview started on time, then he was probably almost done with it by now. I sort of want to go inside, but I know Carl wouldn't want me to. I settle back again and close my eyes, trying to get some relief from the failing AC. Then the door rattles and I hear haphazard hoof steps. Open my eyes, but no one's there. I do catch some movement disappearing around the side of the store, and I lean around to get a better look. I wait, but Carl, at least I think it's Carl, doesn't come back from around the corner. Looking around, I slowly open my door. Carl? Nothing. Carl! I yell it, but he still doesn't come out. Feeling some dread build up in my stomach, I get out of the car and slowly walk around the side of the building. It's an alley between the print shop and what I think is a laundromat. Nothing is in the alley except for a few dumpsters and clumps of garbage. I step carefully around puddles covered in oil slick and wonder if maybe he just really wanted to smoke. Carl? Something shifts on the other side of one of the dumpsters and I hear sniffling. Wordlessly, I walk around the dumpster to the other side. Carl has bent over, his back to me, his paws on his knees. His whole body is shaking and his breaths are ragged. Holy shit, Carl! I'm at his side instantly, rubbing his back. What happened? Are you alright? The stench of vomit hits my nose and I don't need to look closely to know what the puddle between Carl's hoofs is. Carl makes sure to turn his face away from me, not saying a word. Shit. I dash back to the car and open the passenger door so I can get to the glove box. I pull out a few napkins before hurrying back to the Ram. He takes them from me wordlessly and starts wiping his face. The last time I'd seen Carl like this was just last year when he had his panic attack at school. I didn't think he'd have that problem now after all the therapy and time away. I try to rub his back comfortably in a clockwise motion like my mom would do for me. He's at least not hyperventilating. He has his horns pressed up against the wall, taking deep breaths as he wipes his face again.
Why do I suck at everything?
He says it quietly between gasps, but I can make it out. No, Carl, you're fine. Let's just get you home. I start to pull on his arm, but he yanks it from me violently.
Don't touch me!
I'm stunned into silence. I just stare at him, mouth open. He glances at me and his eyes are red, and for once it's not because of weed. Carl starts off toward the car on his own, spitting off to the side as he does. Carl, what happened? He rolls on me. Oh, jeez.
I fucked up, obviously. Any more fucking questions?
His voice breaks apart in the last sentence, and he turns away from me as his face starts to screw up. My stomach feels hollow as I watch Carl get into my car. I've never ever seen him like this. He immediately hunches forward, head in his paws. I slowly walk up to the driver's side door, feeling like crying myself. I sit for a while, waiting to see if Carl is going to say anything. He does.
I'm sorry.
He blurts it out through his fingers. I look over at him, scared to say anything in case I say the wrong thing.
It was a disaster, man.
He takes in a deep, shuddering breath.
Oh, you could tell I wasn't into it right away. I was awkward as fuck.
He leans back and tugs at his shirt.
This isn't me, and they knew it, and it got me nervous. I've been nervous ever since I got my clothes, since I got this stupid trim.
At that moment, it feels as if I've been punched in the stomach. I'm just now remembering the conversation we had on Wednesday. I closed my eyes for a moment, not wanting to believe I'd become exactly what he said I wasn't. What he liked me for not being. We sit in silence for a long, long time until Carl finally looks at me and smiles.
God damn it, we both knew this was gonna happen, didn't we?
I don't know, man.
And fuck me very much for taking it out on you.
It is sort of my fault.
Nope, I'm the one that screwed up the interview.
Carl settles back in his seat.
Now with that fuck up out of the way, on to the next one.
I force a smile. You sure you still want to go?
Hell no, but I don't think we have much of a choice.
I sigh, looking out the hazy horizon in the direction of where I know Echo is. Can't wait. So with that, I turn on the ignition and pull out of the parking lot, leaving the print shop and its alley far, far behind us. I don't know. I understand how Carl feels to an extent. I completely understand, because every time I go, I don't know if people here understand, but every time I've been to an interview, I always feel so fake. And I hate it. I don't like it. Like, I hate having to go to interview and having the fake smile and, you know, fake smile and all this stuff. And you're like, because you have to act so differently than, like, you really are. And it is annoying. It's very annoying. It's just like, but you're kind of like forced to. I mean, unfortunately, especially nowadays, that's what a lot of jobs want. They want you to have this certain demeanor, and it does. Like I said, it sucks. Like, I understand completely. But yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Like, it's frustrating. And, like, even, like, this job now, and, like, it really sucks when you have, like, something like this, like, it's severe anxiety, severe anxiety or depression, because people don't understand that. Like, for me, like, I'm telling you guys because, I trust you guys. I lost my last job because I had a bad panic attack at work. I had to go into the bathroom and cry for a while. And after that, I left my job. And it sucks because it was a good paying job. It was a good paying job. It was full time, and it had good benefits. And I just upped and left. And I hated it for doing that. So I have another job that I didn't really want to get, but I not to get in my personal life, I was basically forced to take a mix of not having a lot of money left over and parents being like, basically fuck my depression. And that sucks to say, but that's how it is, unfortunately. So, like, I understand completely. I don't know. That's all I'm going to say in it. If you get still studying, closest thing I did to every... Ooh, a music... Oh my gosh, a music edition? I can imagine. That probably was really... Oh man, that's pretty much is a job. That's really hard. Because a job is basically trying to show your valuable skills and just how beneficial you'll be for a company. When a music edition, I would imagine it's the same thing. You're trying to show how skilled you are in whatever music you are playing or whatever musical instrument or vocals you are doing, and proving to them how beneficial it is for them to have you. And that's nerve-wracking, especially because I'm assuming music is something that's very important to you. I'm going to guess. And it's even worse when it's something you really want. Like, one of my interviews for a job, I was so disheartened. I really wanted the job because it was about the same pay I was making. It was very close. It was easy to get to. It was about the same pay I was making at my previous job. And it was part-time. It was 30 hours. So, like, I could handle that. It gave me time to kind of focus on my mental health and figure out some things. And, of course, I didn't get that job. So I was really upset. I was very upset because I really wanted that job. And I did really good at the interview. I did really good at the interview. And for some reason, I didn't get the job. And it sucked. You know, and I wish I could just say that I just moved on. I mean, I did move on because I didn't have a choice, but it still hurts. So, I mean, I get it. Hell, I even get it sometimes when I'm like, I'm really care about, like, YouTube and, you know, and other things, and, you know, it doesn't work out, like, as much as I'd like. But I don't know. I wish I really could give you guys, like, more encouraging advice. I guess you just get through it, which is not the best thing to say, but it's kind of like the only thing I can offer you guys. And the only offer of advice I can offer for myself. So. Leo, TJ, Flynn, and Jenna are all gathered around a picnic table. They're set out neatly on concrete in front of the rocky shore of the lake. None of this existed when we were kids. In fact, it didn't exist when I left. Echo was trying really hard to stay alive. I don't need to get out of the car to gauge the mood my friends are in. Their shoulders slumped, faces turned away from each other. As I park, Leo's ears perk and he turns to wave at us. I take a deep breath and turn to Carl. You ready?
Nope.
Oh, hold on, guys. Nevertheless, he opens his door and steps out, and I do the same. The sun beats down on us, but being this close to the lake cools things down a bit. As we approach, I see Leo with his butt up against the edge of the table while TJ sits next to him. Jenna sits next to TJ while Flynn sits across from Jenna. When Flynn turns around, he immediately zeroes in on Carl.
What the hell happened to you?
Drugs, sex, and rock and roll.
Out of order, bud. No, I just put it in the appropriate descending order.
Flynn rolls his eyes and looks at me.
Hey, fuckboy, maybe you could talk some fucking sense into this idiot.
Leo's ears are flat, but he doesn't look at Flynn.
Glad you guys can make it.
Sure. Carl sits down next to Flynn. I sit on Carl's other side across from TJ. The silence that follows is possibly the most awkward one of the week. Flynn snickers.
See, this is stupid.
How about we let it happen naturally, Flynn, instead of using every moment to take shots at people? Jenna's tone is icy. She hasn't even acknowledged me or Carl. TJ, meanwhile, keeps his head down, poking his sharp claw into the soft wood of the table. Flynn shrugs and starts to do his trademark I don't give a fuck lean back pose, but gives a start when he realizes there isn't any backing on the bench.
Well, we've been sitting here for the past 20 minutes and nothing's happened. Maybe you want to start us off?
Flynn sighs.
Well, we could talk about how I never agreed to this shit. How Leo's a complete fucking idiot for forcing this to happen, and that I wonder what he thought this would accomplish anyway. That's a start, I guess.
Flynn sets his jaw.
Of course, talk that would actually get us somewhere wouldn't be from me, and he's not talking.
The temperature seems to lower in the impossibly hot air, and I don't look at TJ to see how he reacts. After a brief silence, Leo speaks up.
How about we start with you, Flynn?
Flynn looks at Leo, brows raised.
How do you feel about what happened?
I see Flynn clutch his jaw.
What?
His tone sends shivers down my spine, and I feel Carl tense up next to me. I look out across the lake, the shimmering reflections blinding me.
You never talked about it. Maybe it'll help.
Sweat pours down the back of my neck, builds up under my arms. Even with the wind coming off the lake, it's way too hot.
By telling you how I fucking feel? How the fuck do you think I feel?
Flynn screams and then TJ jumps in front of me.
You just gonna keep it buried your whole life, bro?
I don't know how to say that word. I'm sorry. I probably offended somebody. I'm so sorry. Jeez. Nope. I think about the time I used to come down to the spot every day and skip rocks with Jenna and TJ.
So this is how you plan to fucking get us over this? By fucking making fun of me? I'm not making fun of you. I'm trying to help you. Taunting someone who's felt like shit for a decade is a pretty weird way of helping.
Please, guys.
Don't you even fucking talk right now.
Don't you dare talk to him like that. We all went through this.
Calm down, Flynn.
The table shakes as Flynn slams his fist down in the wood, snarling and standing up.
Tell me to calm down one more fucking...
Just shut the hell up. I stand up. Everyone turns to look at me, including Flynn. I don't say anything. Instead, I just strip off my shirt.
The hell are you doing?
I don't answer him. Instead, I take off my belt and slide off my pants and I'm only left in my boxers. Without a word, I head to the lake. It's about 100 yards from the tables to the lake, and while most of the way there is sand, a good stretch of it is pointy rocks. I make my way carefully over this section, remembering the numerous cuts I've gotten as a kid. I don't look back until I'm right at the water's edge, and when I do, I see Leo following me in the process of taking his own shirt off. The rest of them are still sitting at the table, but I don't care because this is really just for me. I step into the water and sigh at how cool it is before I wade out further. Once I'm waist deep, I dive into the water and pop up several feet further away from shore. I'm neck deep at this point, and when I look back, I can see Carl now standing at the lake's edge, paws deep in his pockets. Behind him, Jenna is helping TJ across the rocks. Only Flynn remains behind at the table, watching us all. Did I mention how much I hate Flynn?
Hey, I'm talking over here. What are you talking about? That's what I don't know. I just get that voice for Flynn. I just get that New Yorker accent for Flynn. Get the New Yorker accent.
Yeah, it is a minute. Ooh, the band you're in requires you. Jeez, that is rough. That is rough. Just like your name, Jem. You're Ruffy Jenny. Ruffy Jenny. What the fuck? Where did I come from? I said Ruffy Jenny. That is rough. That is Ruffy Jem. Oof, that sounds rough. Well, I'm hoping that you continue to pass through your auditions. Leo's up to his chest at this point, and I swim in a circle around him before diving under, then popping up right in front of him.
God, sneaky otter.
He splashes water in my face, and I cough. Don't be that way. I swim around him some more and laugh at how he flounders after me. He was always a terrible swimmer. I dive under the water again and swim up toward the shore, popping up about 10 feet away from Carl.
Having fun?
Wait, oh, that was Leo's voice.
Having fun?
He's smiling. I haven't played Flynn's route yet, but from what I've seen of him, I don't like him. I have a friend who really likes him too, and it's a shame because he's a nice friend, but he's so wrong. He's like, oh, Flynn. He loves Flynn so much, and I'm like, I hate Flynn so much. I do not like what I've seen of Flynn so far. He just seemed like an asshole. He's smiling, looking a lot more relaxed than he has all day. Probably because we just avoided situations that could have gotten really ugly. To my left, Jenna and TJ are sitting on a boulder in the shallows. TJ's slacks rolled up to his knees. Him and Jenna seem to be talking, so I decide not to play the same trick on them as I did with Leo. Flynn, meanwhile, is standing up now, arms folded. For the next little while, I swim around, occasionally popping up in front of Carl or Leo, sometimes splashing them with my tail. There's a freeing feeling about finally swimming in the lake again and having so much space. Flynn, after a good 20 minutes, comes out to the shore. He leans against an old, familiar boulder, watching us. That's good. I think everybody should have a mentor, especially for something like, like music. That's really good that you can talk to your mentor for advice, Jim. I think that's honestly, that really is. I wish I could talk to a mentor. Like, you know me, I love voice acting, and I don't really have anybody that I can talk to about it. Like, be like, hey, like, listen, how do I go about this? I mean, at least not that I don't have to pay, you know. You know. There's no way for me to know how they're all feeling if it's liberating like it is for me. Fun is right in the way. We can't just talk about it because there's nothing to really say. What happened, and no amount of talking can fix it. What we can do, or what I can do at least, is choose to move past it. And that's what I'm doing now. I just hope that's what they're feeling too. Eventually I run out of the exhilarating energy that has so consumed me and instead drift to the bottom of the shallows. I lay on my back against the sand, staring up at the murky glow of the sun. I feel my eyelids get heavy and I stretch out against the soft lake bed. It is, of course, a bad idea to fall asleep underwater. If that were to happen, though, I'd probably just try to breathe, get a nose full of water, and immediately wake up. Still, I decided that it's best I avoid that, if I can, and force myself to open my eyes again and swim to the surface. Except I can't. I'm frozen. Oh, I love this track! This track is one of my favorite tracks, and it only shows up for, I think, I was told it only shows up for one part, and I'm guessing this is that part. Every nerve in my body is on fire, and I struggle not to panic, to not start trying to breathe because that's all my body wants to do. I close my eyes, willed myself to be calm. Sleep paralysis usually only lasts about a minute at most for me. I can hold my breath for 8, and I've only been under 4. God, I have no idea. It feels like it's been a while. My chest is already starting to burn, and that usually means it's been at least 6 minutes. And this is starting to last a long time. Despite my efforts, panic starts to set in, and it sets in quick. I start jerking my body around, trying to get something, anything to move. I don't understand why I'm not floating to the surface. I'm not trying to stay underwater. The seconds turn into minutes, and now my lungs are really burning. Something has to be holding me down. Maybe some kind of vegetation. Oh god. Oh no! Are we about to die? Oh no, is Chase... What the fuck? Is Chase about to die? The water begins to glow red as if blood is spread across the surface above me. I tug and pull, praying that this is all a dream, that I'm back in Carl's room, that at any moment I'll wake up. You thought it would be this easy. That's a good one. I try to turn my head toward the voice, which is right in my ear even though I'm underwater. Things go silent again. At this point, I start to contemplate that I might actually die. I can't get my body to move. None of my friends know where I'm at, and now I'm almost out of air. Bubbles flow past my lips as my lungs finally give out and blackness starts to crowd in on my vision. What the what happened? What the hell? Is he dead? Oh, is he dead? Oh, there's no way Chase died. He's the main character. He's the main character. There's no way. Oh, whew. I was like, oh god, no. He's waking up. My eyes open slowly, painfully, and I'm face to face with a ram, his muzzle wet with tears. Oh my god, he is. Give him room. I feel some rough paws supporting my back, turning me on my side. Can you breathe, Chase? Leo's voice is ragged next to my ear. Jeez, I thought we died. I was like, what choice did I make that was wrong? Sorry, guys. I'm here. I promise. I'm not going anywhere. Just trying to see something. Okay. I think we're fine. Okay. I'm fine. Leo's voice is ragged next to my ear. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I sit up quickly and a wave of dizziness threatens to topple me over again. I feel movement behind me out of my field of vision. No, 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 no! I can't believe this! I can't fucking believe this! Flynn's voice is torn and ragged. I barely recognize it. Calm down, Flynn. No, we're forced to come here and then this shit happens? Guys, I need to go.
TJ, Flynn, get over here!
I feel Leo's support leave me. Carl is still crouched down in front of me, though.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude, what happened?
Carl's gasping like he's the one that was just underwater.
I don't know.
Carl rubs my back as I rest my head in my paws. Vaguely, I can hear more yelling behind me, and Carl looks up too. No, no! Don't! Leo, help! Despite my aching head, I turn around and see Flynn chase at TJ, grab him, and throw him down onto the rocks. Flynn doesn't get any further, though. Because Leo tackles him with such force they fly a good 5 feet before smashing down to the rocks and sand. Leo wraps an arm around Flynn's neck and yanks up hard.
Jesus.
Carl stands up and starts gasping again. I try to, but I fall back down on my ass. Carl reaches down to help me up.
Shit, you're not okay.
Carl steadies me, but I'm distracted with trying to see what's happening. Leo's leaning down with his muzzle right up against Flynn's head, yelling at him. Meanwhile, Jenna's crouched over TJ. Carl starts to breathe heavily again, his wheezing picking up speed. I look over at him, his eyes are glazed as if he's watching everything from afar. Carl, what's wrong? I don't want him having another panic attack. I know he should probably stay and try to help, but I feel so fucked up right now. Besides, I don't think it'll help if Carl has a breakdown. I grab his arm. Let's get out of here, Carl. He looks at the scene a while longer, then turns away. Without another word, we make our way back to the car. I get in barely noticing that I'm drenching the seat. Looking through the windshield, I see that my friends are still in the same position that we left them. Except Jenna. She watches us as we pull out and keeps watching us until we're out of sight. Carl stays in his glazed state as we make the short drive back to his house. I can't give him much of my attention, though. I'm more preoccupied with the fact that something terrible just happened. Not only to me, but the entire group. Maybe this is a dream. Everything feels so surreal right now, like I'm watching all this happen from 100 miles away.
I don't know.
I look over at Carl, but his expression is still glassy. I don't know what the hell happened. Flynn seemed like he lost his shit. Like, Flynn just flipped the fuck out and then attacked TJ, and then TJ cried for Leo to help him, and then Leo knocked Flynn off of TJ, and then Jenna was comforting TJ. I don't know what the fuck just happened, and Chase and Carl just fucking left. They were like, we're leaving. What is this group? What is this friend group? I feel like everybody in this group has some kind of mental issue. And I'm not saying that to be snarky or nasty. Like, I'm being genuine. Like, I feel like everybody in this group has some kind of mental issue. Jeez. Oh, boy. I don't know what's going on. It's just... I don't know anymore. This is, really screwed up. And... God. He looks exactly like how I'm feeling. What's wrong, Carl?
I don't know.
Don't. I'm cut off as a large coyote suddenly runs out into the street, but she's a good distance down the road, so there's no danger of me hitting her. I watch as she tears onto the sagebrush, zigzagging about, arms flinging out in all directions. Carl and I both watch her as we pass silent. Something's happening in this town. To all of us. Once we get in the house, Carl heads straight for the stairs. Carl! You guys back? How'd it go? Raven's voice calls from upstairs. Ray, something's wrong. Huh? What's wrong? I don't answer as I walk to the stairs. Carl just disappeared down. Once I get there, he's already gone. I make my way down the stairs, and it's at this point that my headache starts to make a comeback. Carl! He's not in the basement either, but I can see the yellow light glowing from the crawl space. Something, I don't know what it is, but something feels incredibly wrong right now. Buzzing fills my head, the ground feeling unsteady as if I'm walking on sand. Once I find Carl, we're both going to the hospital. I stumble down to the crawl space, and again, Carl's not there. I'm greeted to the familiar row of tubs, but a stack of them have been pulled away from the wall. Carl! Carl, what? I fall silent because ahead of me is a hole. About 3 feet high and 2 feet wide. What the hell? Carl? Plaster covers the tarp around it as if the wall had been bashed violently to create the hole. Did Carl go through it? Getting on my paws and knees, I look into it, but the darkness is inky and so black I swear I can touch it. As I crawl forward, my mind gives a violent jolt and I arch my head back, teeth bared as my face spasms. And then I fall. And it feels like I fall forever. What the hell? What? Wind blows pleasantly through my fur, seeping underneath and cooling my sweating skin. The smells of the desert, sagebrush, and dirt overwhelm my senses. Everything is black around me, but there are a million stars above me. I hear the smattering of small feet running circles around my body, snuffling of noses up against my sides and neck. Mixed into the sounds of the wilder words, languages I don't understand, chanting and singing the sounds of dancing. Then another language. I hear a word or two that I learned from Leo years ago. And then my own language. And above it all is a mechanical cackling. One that builds and fades before choking off into a sob. The first feeling I have is one of confusion. I feel stiff and cold and I'm lying back on something hard. I expect to see stars above me when I open my eyes, but instead all I see is blackness. Panic starts to well up inside me. My breathing quickens, and though it's hard and painful, I manage to push myself up into a sitting position. That's when I see a gentle glow coming from an opening about 30 feet away from me. Where am I? The last thing I remember was the lake. Wait, no, Carl's house is the last thing I remember. We went back to his house after the lake. Did I fall asleep in his house somewhere? I feel around on the floor with my hands and can feel wood underneath me. It creaks as I shift around. Carl? My voice comes out hard and crackly. I have to lick my lips several times to keep them from sticking together. I call it again, but more softly this time, because now I'm starting to wonder if someone else brought me here. When I don't hear anything, I start to crawl forward towards the light. My head throbs a little, and there's a coppery taste in my mouth. Probing my tongue around, I taste a sour of bites along my cheeks. I start to run through a list of things that could have happened. I was in Carl's basement, and I just sort of seized up. Did someone hit me over the head? I stop crawling and start moving my hand towards my body and over my head. No sign of any injuries. Aside from the cheek bites, it really is just the inside of my head that hurts. While I do this, lucidity starts to return in waves as if a dam had broken and all my senses are falling back into place. At the same time, the panic starts to return as I realize how much this doesn't make sense. Someone had to have brought me here, wherever here is. I start crawling again, trying to keep my panic under control. I'm almost to the glow, but it's weird because it's coming from the ground. As I get up closer, I hear a soft brushing behind my head. I tense and look over my shoulder. I'm greeted by the sight of inky blackness so dark that it almost feels alive, and I get the impression of a giant mouth opening up in front of my face. The imagery gives me a jolt, and I lunge forward, deciding to get up on my feet so I can move fast. And then I'm falling, but not for long. My senses are full of light now, and I throw my hands forward to catch myself. But I keep falling, and the split second before I hit, I realize there's a ladder. I instinctively grab at it, but my head hits the rungs first, and I flip forward before landing on my feet. It happens on weak ankles, though, and my right foot gives out my ankle rolls. Ah! I hear a stutter as a pop before the rest of my body hits the floor. I lay there for a moment, the sudden noise and violence of the fall stunning me. In my stupor, I feel a cold spider web of electricity pulsing from my ankle, and that's what spurs me to move. I pull myself into a sitting position to clutch at it. Fuck! The pain isn't really bad, but something is definitely wrong, and I'm not sure if I can just walk it off. That's when I notice my surroundings. A long hallway stretches out to either side of me, lit by decorative chandeliers. Looking up, I see that I've fallen down a drop-down ladder from a small square in the ceiling. What the hell? I look back down at my ankle. I wiggle it around and immediately feel another pulse of electricity that feels much more painful this time around. I grit my teeth as I spread my hands out against the wall behind me, pushing myself up slowly, making sure not to put any weight on my injured ankle. As I'm doing this, I hear a soft clopping sound coming from my right. At the end of the hall, it looks like it takes a sharp right, and it sounds like the noise are coming from that turn. My throat tightens, and I press myself harder up against the wall. I see a shadow slide up the carpet at the end of the hallway, and I hold my breath. Sorry, guys.
I don't know.
You don't... The large coyote suddenly runs out into the street, but she's a good distance down the road, so there's no danger. The shadow stops too, and I get the feeling that whatever it is might be holding its own breath. Finally, the tension gets to me, and I clear my throat nervously. Carl?
Chase?
Carl! I let out a gasp of relief and almost sagged down the wall. More clopping of footsteps, and Carl appears around the corner. His eyes are wide and his nostrils flare. He stumbles up to me, his hands clasped together nervously.
Holy shit, dude. So fucking good to see you.
I press up harder against the wall, taking more weight off my foot. What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I just woke up. You okay?
He looks at me, then down at my foot.
Are you hurt?
I gesture up at the ladder. I fell down that thing. Carl looks up at the ladder and the dark hole it leads up to.
What were you doing up there?
I don't know. I just woke up in the dark and tried to crawl out.
Shit.
Carl bends down to look at my ankle, which is clearly starting to swell.
Can you walk?
I think so. Kind of. He stands back up and looks around.
Chase, I don't know what's going on. I just woke up in a bedroom up the hall like 20 minutes ago.
Is this not part of your house? Carl lets out a breathy, incredulous laugh.
No, definitely not. I was trying to find a window, but I can't.
Maybe we're in a basement or something. The last thing I remember is your crawl space.
Why would they have an attic in a basement?
I look back up at the dark hole in the ceiling. Maybe it's not an attic.
Chase, I'm freaking out.
And it shows too. His breathing is picking up, his wide nostrils flaring again. I reach out and put a hand on his shoulder, giving some reassuring squeezes. No, it's okay. Maybe we got really high or drunk or something. What's the last thing you remember? Carl starts clicking his fingers together again, looking away up the hall.
The lake?
Yeah, I remember we went back to your house, then down to the basement, and then... Carl frowns.
I don't remember.
I watch him carefully. But then I remember looking behind the plastic bins, and there was this... Help! We both jump as the scream comes from right down the hall. Carl and I both laugh at each... I thought... Why did I think that said laugh? I was like, are they laughing at him? I feel around on the floor with my hands on... Jeez. Carl and I both look at each other wide-eyed.
What the hell?
Hello, is someone out there?
That sounds like Raven.
Carl starts to hesitantly walk up the hallway, and I move to follow, but immediately regret as I put weight on my ankle. It's completely stiff now, and pain shoots up into my shin like lightning. My gasping causes Carl to turn around in confusion, then his eyes light up when he sees my leg.
Oh shit, here.
He reaches out and I wrap an arm around his neck. He's sturdy and strong, easy to lean against, and I sigh with relief as I take the weight off my injured ankle. Somebody! We hobble our way down the hall, following the sound of Raven's panicked voice. We take a left at the end of the hall and are confronted with an almost identical hallway to the last. That's when I start to smell smoke. Do you smell that? Carl puts his nose up.
Something burning?
Help me! I almost jump again as the sound comes from right on our left, the only door on the left side of the hallway. We both look at the door for a moment, Carl's ears perked straight up. And we both jump again as the door shakes from several heavy bashes that rattle the frame. Help! The cry is mournful, like he's given up.
Raven?
The shaking and pounding stops. Carl? Carl! The voice instantly turns hopeful, and the voice grows muffled as if Raven is pressing his muzzle right up against the door. I'm stuck. The door won't open, and there's a fire! What? Chase, there's something burning on the stove or something. I can't see it. Me and Carl look up at each other in bewilderment. Guys, it's getting really smoky in here. I can't really see anything. He gives a cough. It's really hard to breathe.
Alright, hold on a second, man. We'll get you out.
Carl shifts me to the wall so I can lean against it, then tries the doorknob. The knob barely turns, clearly locked.
Shit.
Yeah, it's locked. It's getting really hot in here.
Hold on.
Carl shoves his shoulders up against the door, gives a few creaks, but otherwise stays solid. Please, help! His plaintive whimpering is barely audible through the thick wood. What kind of lock is it? Maybe we could pick it. Carl studies the knob.
I don't think a paperclip is gonna work.
I lean in to look and find myself staring at an old-fashioned keyhole. The hell?
Raven, can't you unlock it from that side?
No, there's nothing there. Guys, I can't breathe. His voice is getting desperate again. There's no other way out? No other door in there? Raven doesn't answer, and Carl and I both waited for a good 10 seconds. Raven? Ah! We both jump for the third time before Carl presses his face up to the door.
Raven, what happened?
For a few seconds, all we hear is coughs, and Raven's voice is lower up against the bottom of the door as if he's lying down. Something in the smoke! Help!
What? What's in the smoke?
My mind flashes back to what I heard in the attic. Something. Can't see. Open the door!
Fuck, alright, man, stand back.
I don't know if he's talking to me or Raven, but I take a step back anyway. Carl takes a few steps back, then throws his body forward, smashing up against the door. It shudders a little bit, and I hear a crack or two, but otherwise there's no chain. It shudders a little bit and I hear a crack or two, but otherwise there's no change. He tries it again with the same result. Carl, I don't think that's gonna work. Carl doesn't say anything, instead backing up until his back touches the opposite wall. He takes a deep breath and charges forward, his head down this time. Instinctively, I close my eyes, imagining Carl snapping his neck right in front of me. The impact is much louder this time, and it's accompanied by a crunch. When I open my eyes, it's not Carl's neck that's broken, but rather the wooden door. Carl's head is completely busted through the door so that his head is poking into the other side. I stare, expecting to see the tendrils of black smoke snaking out of the broken door, but there's nothing. Carl sets his hands on either side of the door, apparently taking a look around.
Raven, you okay?
I walk up to Carl's side to put a hand on his back. Carl, what is it? Is there a fire? Carl braces himself up against the door before pushing back, yanking his head out of the opening. He comes up with a bunch of wooden splinters clinging to his head fur and beard and sweatshirt.
Nothing.
I duck down and look through the opening as well, taking care to keep weight off my injured foot. I'm greeted to the sight of a brightly lit dining room and kitchen, but it's clear no smoke in sight. It was completely black in here a second ago. I look down at the trembling voice of Raven below me, and I see the husky curled up, his head poking up from his fetal position. Hey, Chase. Hi. I don't know what happened. There was smoke everywhere. It's like when you opened the door, it all got sucked out. I sniff, and now I can't even get a whiff of smoke, aside from residual taste. I still have it in the back of my throat. I hear a click next to my head and look over to see the doorknob twist. I pull my head out of the hole, and Carl pulls the door again.
Are you kidding me? It was locked, right?
It was definitely locked. Raven gets up, brushing shaky hands down his shirt.
You okay, man?
Yeah. Just thought I was gonna die for a second. I watch as Raven struggles to keep his ears perked. What happened? Raven takes a deep breath. I don't know. I just woke up in here and smoke just started coming out from the stove or oven or something. You said you saw something. Yeah, something in the smoke. It looked like Harms or something. Carl and I look at each other. But it might have just been the smoke. I look around the room, scanning it for any sign of the black smoke that Raven was so adamant about I've seen. I don't think he was just seeing things, because I'm pretty sure I hadn't imagined the smell. I promise, I'm not lying. It's just what I saw. I think the bigger issue here is that we're here at all. I mean, where the hell is here? I spread my hands out, giving an incredulous laugh. I thought maybe it was just another part of your house. Raven looks at Carl. I mean, I went downstairs after you guys had found this hole. Then everything went dark. Carl looks down. Same here, I followed Carl. We both look at Carl, but he doesn't say anything, instead just moving past Raven into the large kitchen next to the dining room. I hobble after him, then reach out to lean against the counter. I try to gather my thoughts. Everything still feels dreamlike, surreal, and my thoughts are sluggish. Carl, do you have any idea what happened? I mean, that hole. Did you go there too? Carl sets his hands on his hips, eyes wandering around the room.
Honestly, I can't remember anything that happened after the lake, man.
Raven casts a sidelong look at me before moving next to Carl. Well, maybe it'll just take you a second before you can remember. I was really confused when I woke up here. I was curled up over there on that counter. Raven points to a marble-top counter, under a row of over a dozen pans hanging from a fixture attached to the ceiling. We stand there in silence as I imagine we individually absorb the situation we're in. Carl, are you sure this isn't some extension of your house? Maybe something that leads out of the crawl space? The ram laughs, but it definitely isn't genuine.
Dude, I think I know if this was some part of my house. Unless my parents have just been building this secret kitchen underground for who knows how long.
I glance at the lighting, which is definitely electric, then over what looks like an electric stove. While everything sort of looked old-fashioned, there was a mixture of modernity to it as well. Where else could we be? Raven and I remember going to the crawl space to lose his consciousness after he found that hole, which is where you went, Carl. Carl finally does turn to me at that point, his brow furrowed.
Do you think I had something to do with this?
Even though I was implying that he might know more, Carl's sudden jump to being defensive catches me by surprise. No, I just wonder if you might have any more ideas since it's your house, you know? Carl laughs again. I'm struck by the fullness of it. Usually when Carl laughed, it was crackly and half-hearted. Now it's loud and a little abrasive.
Think I just waited in the shadows and drugged you all up with acid or some shit?
I don't respond, just watching Carl as he stares back at me, breathing hard. Raven coughs loudly. Hey guys, let's calm down. You know, I'm kinda hungry. Why don't we make some food? That seems to break Carl out of his stare down with me as he looks over at Raven and huffs out one of his more characteristic chuckles.
Really, Raven?
Yeah, that always makes me feel better. Raven starts opening cupboards, but each one is empty. Carl turns back to me, frowning.
Sorry, Chase, I'm just fucking freaked out too. Thing is, I don't think we're in my house anymore.
He chuckles again.
I mean, are we even in Echo? What time is it anyway?
I reach in my pocket to check my phone, and that's when I remember I have a fucking phone. I almost jump with the realization to shove a hand into my pocket to pull it out. Why didn't I think of that before?
What?
Phone! I pull it out excitedly, hit the button, and turn the screen on. And I'm met with a black screen. My phone's dead. Are you kidding me? I hold the power button down, but nothing happens. I look up to see Raven and Carl getting similar results. Raven shaking his as if that's going to help. Carl shakes his head.
Were we out that long? This is crazy.
I press a hand to my face for a moment, the idea that this could still be some sort of dream coming to mind. I remember after taking an overnight job back when I was a freshman and how that had fucked up my sleeping schedule. That in turn gave me all kinds of fucked up realistic dreams. Sleep paralysis plagued me to the ends of my wits, and I remember the one time I thought I'd never be able to get up. I was stuck in bed, but each time I sat up and thought it was over, I'd end up sort of waking up again, still lying down, stuck in my paralysis. Dreams within dreams within dreams. No food either. My scattered thoughts collected together long enough for me to decide on the next course of action we should take. Alright, this is stupid. We should go out and look around. We'll find the way out eventually.
Yeah, we need to do that. I looked around a little but didn't find anything.
I grip the counter a little more tightly as I feel a slight wave of dizziness come over me, making everything feel even less real. But the pain that's shooting up from my ankle is very real, and just a glance down at the ever-growing swelling confirms it. The suspicion that we'd somehow been drugged grows, but I don't want to upset Carl again, so I don't mention it.
Okay, yeah. Let's just stick together and go. We'll find a way out.
I am hungry. We can eat when we get out. There's no food in here anyway. I turn, and even though I do it as lightly as possible, the moment I set my right foot down, it feels like 100 needles pressed into my ankle. Oh, fuck. Carl's at my side instantly, reaching out a hand to steady me.
Dude, you alright?
What happened? I lean on my weight on the counter at that point. Just letting my foot dangle as I hold it off the ground is painful.
He fell down a ladder and landed on his foot wrong.
What? But it's only now that it's really starting to hurt. I say it through gritted teeth. The pain is actually making me sweat, and I'm realizing that I might have done more than just sprain it.
I don't think I can walk like this.
How did you fall down a ladder?
He woke up in an attic, here.
Carl hunches down in front of me. My stupefied brain thinks up a butt sex joke, but I manage to keep it canned. You sure? I could just lean against you.
That'll take too long. Besides, it looks like you can't walk at all right now.
Hesitantly, I let go of the counter and let myself sort of fall forward into the ram's back. He's sturdy and barely budges as I lean all my weight onto him. Carl reaches back with both hands and hitches my legs off the ground as he stands, and I feel all the muscles in his back flex as he does. Damn, Carl, you work out? Carl grunts.
A little bit.
I move my head to the side to keep it from knocking my nose against his horns. It's a smart move because just then Carl nods his head in Raven's direction.
Hey, I know this is kind of fucked up, but maybe grab a kitchen knife?
Raven raises an eyebrow at Carl. Why? I immediately see what Carl's getting at.
We have no idea where we are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, there's a lot of supernatural shit, because apparently we aren't in Carl's house. As far as Carl's saying to us, we're not in his house. We have no idea where we are or who put us here. Might be safe to be ready to defend ourselves, you know?
And you said you saw something in the smoke.
Raven's eyes widen, but he reaches out to slowly pull a knife from a silver-looking knife block. The husky frowns at the shing sound it makes. His ears down and elbows in, it's clear he's never used anything as a weapon before. But I can't blame him, neither have I. I don't know if I should be the one to do it, though.
Well, you're not strong enough to hold Chase, so I've got my hands tied.
He looks back at me.
If anything happens, though, I'll have to drop you and help him out, okay, man?
I chuckle softly. Yeah, no problem. Let's just hope that doesn't have to happen. And with the shaky husky in the lead, we set off back into the hallway. I'm gonna stop here. I think this is a good place to stop. I'm gonna stop here. Well, guys, I honestly want to thank you for stopping by the stream. I'm happy to get back into Echo. Coming up for this week, I will try to put out another Familiar Travels video. But honestly, if not this week, next week, I have job training this week, Monday through Friday. And I also want to focus on my personal video. But I will try my best to get a Familiar Travels video up. I'm fucking scared. Like, things are really concerning right now. And I'm sorry. And I'm really hoping that we get the hell out of here, because this is different. Leo's route, we stayed in Echo, and now we're in some weird place. So, but if Leo's route was any indication, things are about to get really bad now that Echo's finally started to kind of open up. But with all that being said, this has been Fallen Wolf. Ow! And I'll see you guys next time. Take care of yourself and have a wonderful day. Bye.